What NASCAR just announced is unbelievable. The NASCAR charter system has been a topic of significant discussion in 2024 as the sport navigates one of its most uncertain periods in recent history. We as fans and teams alike are left wondering what the future holds, especially as the regular season approaches its end without a clear agreement on the charter system. This uncertainty affects not just the structure of the sport, but also its financial and operational stability. Let's explore what the charter system is, why it matters, and what NASCAR did this time. The charter system was first introduced in 2016. It was created to provide stability for teams and to make it easier for them to secure investments. A charter guarantees a team's entry into every race and gives them a share of the prize money. This system increases the value of teams beyond their physical assets. Sponsors, for example, can see the long-term benefits of working with a chartered team, which adds a layer of financial security. There are currently 36 charters, each with performance standards. If a team finishes in the bottom 3 for 3 straight years, NASCAR can take back the charter, and teams are limited to owning 4 charters. The current charter agreement was supposed to end in 2020 but was extended. Negotiations for a new deal were expected to finish earlier this year, but the process has dragged on. This delay has caused uncertainty. For example, Stewart-Haas Racing decided to stop operations, putting 4 charters on the market. The value of these charters has varied widely. In 2023, Spire Motorsports paid $40 million for a charter, but in 2024, Front Row Motorsports bought one for $20 to $25 million. This shows how unstable the market has become. Teams are unhappy with how revenue is shared under the current agreement. From the broadcast contract, NASCAR takes 51%, teams get 39%, and the racetracks receive 10%. Running a race car in the Cup Series costs about $18 million per year. This figure does not include expenses like driver salaries, marketing, or sponsorship efforts. Because of the revenue split, teams must generate 60 to 80% of their income through sponsorships. This reliance on sponsorships creates financial pressure. For comparison, Major League Baseball teams rely on sponsorships for only 8 to 12% of their income. NASCAR's model is unique, with cars often featuring different sponsor-driven designs for each race. However, this heavy reliance on sponsors leaves teams with very thin profit margins. Teams began voicing their concerns in 2022, calling the current model broken. They argued for a bigger share of the new media rights deal, which runs from 2025 to 2031. The new media rights deal, worth $7.7 billion over 7 years, is NASCAR's most valuable yet. However, it has not solved the team's concerns. In fact, it has introduced new challenges. NASCAR wanted 3 broadcast partners, but ended up with 4. This fragmented approach could lead to subscription fatigue for fans, as they may need multiple services to watch races. Including the Xfinity Series, NASCAR content will be spread across 5 platforms. While this might attract younger viewers through streaming, casual fans may find it harder to follow the season. Fox Sports' Bob Pockras shared an important update on Friday about the new charter agreement in NASCAR. He confirmed that moving forward, teams will be limited to holding only 3 charters. This change marks a significant shift in how teams operate and manage their participation in the series. For teams like Hendrick Motorsports and Joe Gibbs Racing, which currently operate with 4 charters, there's good news. They have been grandfathered in under the new rules. This means they can continue to run 4 chartered cars without needing to make any changes to their existing setup. This exception ensures that these top-tier teams remain competitive and stable as NASCAR transitions to the updated agreement. For other teams operating under the new 3 charter rule, there is some flexibility. While they can hold only 3 charters, they can still enter a 4th car in races. But this 4th car would not have a charter and would instead compete as an open team. This gives teams an opportunity to expand their operations on a part-time basis or experiment with additional entries without fully committing to another charter. This rule is part of NASCAR's efforts to bring more structure and balance to the series. By limiting the number of charters, NASCAR may aim to control cost, encourage competitiveness, and make it easier for new teams to join the sport. At the same time, grandfathering in the larger teams avoids disruptions to the sport's established dynamics. As these changes take effect, it will be interesting to see how teams adapt. The media landscape itself is evolving. Traditional TV viewership is declining. In 2016, nearly 100 million households in the U.S. had pay TV subscriptions, but this number dropped to 68.5 million by 2022. Streaming is becoming more popular, but it's still a risky move. Broadcasters are hesitant to commit to long-term deals because the future of media is uncertain. NASCAR's current deal, while lucrative, is the shortest since 2001, lasting only 7 years. NASCAR had an eventful year in 2024, with many twists and turns shaping its future. At the start of the year in January, there were ongoing negotiations about charter agreements. These charters are essential because they give teams a stable place in the series. NASCAR proposed increasing the share of media revenue for teams from 39% to 42%. However, insiders believe the real offer was closer to 50%, which is a significant jump. Even with this increase, no final agreement was reached, and NASCAR had to extend the negotiation deadline. By February, the situation became more tense. The teams allowed the extension to expire to show their frustration with the lack of progress. If the charters were left to expire completely, teams could consider leaving NASCAR and possibly starting a rival racing series. To calm the storm, NASCAR proposed a 7-year extension to the current charter agreement. Teams, however, wanted the new system to be permanent. NASCAR seemed hesitant to lock it into their rules forever. This led to discussions about a compromise where teams could hold their charters permanently, but only if they met specific conditions. In May, NASCAR tried to shift the focus with an exciting announcement. They introduced an in-season tournament to run alongside the broadcast schedule of TNT Sports. This tournament had a $1 million prize for the winner. While this added excitement for fans, it was unclear if it would ease the tension between NASCAR and the teams. June brought more unexpected news. It came to light that NASCAR was considering allowing the France family to own charters. This was surprising because, under the current rules, no member of the France family who manages NASCAR can have a stake in a charter. They may be looking at the example of Roger Penske, who owns IndyCar and a team in the series, to guide this decision. However, teams may not be comfortable with this idea. Along with this, discussions about a cost cap and allowing private equity firms to invest in charters began to surface. Behind all these developments lies a much bigger picture. NASCAR is preparing for a significant restructuring in 2025. They're making big changes to their internal operations to improve efficiency and focus. For example, NASCAR President Steve Phelps has taken on a more strategic role, while Steve O'Donnell, the Chief Operating Officer, now has additional duties. In another major move, NASCAR combined its sponsorship and media departments to align these closely connected areas. Now, whatever your thoughts are on this, just write them down below. And while you're down there, make sure to hit that subscribe